Larry, back to you.
Okay.
The situation here is you assume you have a daughter, she's gay, she's celebrating her birthday. She's asked you to help her throw a party, which includes inviting many of her friends who are lesbian or homosexual and affirming of that lifestyle. Should you do this? Are you affirming and promoting her lifestyle by doing this?
Yeah,
How do we think this through?
I would put this in the category of basic attendance, right? Where my attendance and my help with this doesn't necessarily communicate that I am approving of or advocating for this position. There could be an exception to that, which I'll talk about in a minute, but I think, we were just talking about parenting, and I think one of the biblical principles of parenting, Colossians 3:21, is fathers do not provoke your children lest they become discouraged. And we've talked about a lot of issues around this table today that you have to take a stand on with your child in a way that they are not going to like it, and you have to. So I don't think it behooves us then not to make every single thing a test of not to have to fidelity to us as parents.
Not everything's an argument.
Yeah, like not make everything an argument, right? Never show them any grace. That it could unnecessarily, I think, provoke them. So I think you don't have to approve your daughter's lifestyle, whether it's gay and lesbian or anything else, to have a birthday party for her and let her invite the friends that she wants to invite. I think that could actually be a good witness, because I know she knows that you don't approve of it, and I bet you she's told her friends that you don't approve of it. So if they see you willing to give her a birthday party, that actually might mean something in the long term to some of those folks. So I think it'd be just fine to do that. Now, the only caveat would be if she decides to turn the party into a celebration of the LGBT, if there's going to be a rainbow cake and the flags and in order to participate, you kind of have to buy into the whole deal. That'd be a different situation. But, I think we've mentioned this, or Dan's mentioned this a minute ago, but as far as it's possible, live at peace. And so I think it's one of those situations.
So if it turns into the flag and all that, it's now advocating. You're now actually facilitating her advocating.
Right. If she makes this party a celebration not only of her birthday, but of other things, then you have to decide whether you can buy into that.
Now, what do you say? Somebody comes to you and says, Pastor Larry, I really think for me this is an issue of conscience. And as you talk to the person, you realize they're not being concerned to be drawn into a same-sex relationship because they're throwing a birthday party, because that would be sin. They're not, but they just don't like it to the point that they use the cover of it's against my conscience.
Yeah.
How do you walk them through that?
I mean, I think you have to look at why you don't like it, right? I mean, do you not like it because it's an offense to God? Or do you not like it because this is not what I had in mind for my child and I wish it was different?
In other words, an offense
to me. Yeah. Right. And so I think that's the thing. And like you said, the weaker brother argument is you don't do something because you're afraid it will make the other person sin. So if you have this party for your daughter, is that going to cause anybody else to sin? Is it going to cause you to sin? Like you said, and it's probably not. If your conscience is well informed. So I think you have to examine whether or not I just don't want to do something for her because I don't like the way that she's living, and it makes me mad.
And this sin among, any other, can often evoke a visceral response, particularly in our demographic, in our age. Our children who are 20 and 25, who've been raised in a much more saturated atmosphere with this, it's they don't quite understand what it's been like the last 4,000 years in regards to this particular sin. And so that was an issue I struggled with early, just the visceral disgust I had towards same-sex activity that had almost nothing or probably zero to do with an offense against the holy God and his created order. And we need to be able to separate those two. And I'm not saying
I think that visceral reaction comes from it being a violation of the created order. And I think the reason that it is not that way among younger people is because the LGBTQ lobby has done such a good job of separating that from what they're trying to push.
Destigmatizing.
But it can't just be, what was the word you just used slightly under your breath there? It was good. It gives me the heebie-jeebies, or it creeps me out, or something like that.
Makes my skin crawl.
Makes my skin crawl. But okay, that's good. But that shouldn't keep me from going to my 21-year-old son's birthday party with most of his friends who are gay because he's gay.
Yeah, so in other words, if somebody says, well, that's awfully bigoted of you to make your skin crawl, go, no. It should make my skin crawl.
And yours too.
So I kind of hike through that territory emotionally. I don't park there. I should hike through that every time, but that's not going to be where I live, because then I'm rescued by recognizing, if it weren't for the grace of God, where would I be? All of that stuff. So I think that idea of anger, where is that anger centered? Is it centered in you're offending God, or it just gives me the heebie-jeebies?
Correct, and that's what I was
a
trying to
big
make
deal.
the point.
Yeah,
earlier,
there's
as well.
legitimacy to that. I think that's similar, though, to the issue with abortion, right? They don't want you to see what an abortion looks like, because it is so offensive. They've done a good job of separating what actually goes on in an abortion from the idea that it's health care. I think we have the same kind of scenario with, they've done a good job of separating what does it actually mean to be involved in a sexual relationship with another man if you're a man.
Yeah, and so it's not a monolithic feeling. There's these feelings, plural, that you're going to have that's right and good and appropriate. The key is evaluating your motives in that and where you land.
All right, Ken, back to you.